You've ignored enough red flags. You thought that if you gave them time, patience, okay, just waited around, even overlooking things that you knew were straight up disrespect, that somehow things would improve. But the truth of it is that love was never meant to hurt you, to break you. All right, God never called you to self destruct.
Yeah. Subscribe and thumbs up. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, tell them like and subscribe.
It's your sister.
And so when you got into the end and you realize that there's no way that you can ignore any more red flags, because what ended up happening was that it left you with wounds, it left you with scars that cut real deep. Okay, and this is in regard to many of you, the stories that you have held throughout your entire life. This was a cycle. Okay, you were conditioned to be this way. It may have been your mother, it may have been your father, your grandma, your grandpa, your siblings, whoever, teachers, people that you've been in alignment with. Okay, you merely flew under the radar in order to survive. But when you get to a point where you realize that this has been a repeating trend in my life, in order for you to actually shift your life forward, it's going to require you to be honest with those things. It wasn't that you chose to ignore red flags. A lot of it was you may not have had a way out. You had to do that in order to survive. But now that you've matured in your spiritual growth, your connection with the Most High God, as a child of God, a daughter of the Most High God, a son of the Most High God, naturally, you want to see the best in situations and people. You want to extend grace. But the Most High has called you now to trust your intuition, to trust your instincts. Although many of you, your natural instincts have been really beaten down to the point where it's like now you have to really pay attention to Holy Spirit and trust. When you feel uncomfortable, what is that telling you? All right. When you have certain things that pop up in your mind, what's going on. You feel the shift in the energy. It's there for a reason. So now that you're able to really trust yourself completely, and you move to a place of loving yourself unconditionally, when in the past you may have wanted to extend so much grace towards others, now you're beginning to extend grace to yourself. And in doing so, you're no longer overlooking warnings. Okay, those gut feelings that come up when you're around certain relatives or people in general, and Holy Spirit is whispering and telling you that something's not quite right or that you need to leave. You're trusting that because that is the way in which you are safeguarding yourself. You're no longer mistaking toxic behaviors, even when it comes to work or whatever, but you're no longer mistaking these things as it's just a test of your endurance. Thinking that if something that you could do that'll make the situation change with others, but it's not that. Love is meant to heal, not to hurt. And grace doesn't require you to tolerate any form of dysfunction, no matter where you are. So now here you are. You may be in a mindset where you feel as if you have been battle worn, but you're not defeated. Because even in the mess of what you're going through, God is giving you a message. He's working through you. Because the dysfunction that you may have inherited, the cycles that got you caught up, and these things begin to perpetuate even in your adulthood, they're burdens that you're no longer willing to carry. These things are not defining you. God does. And He is in the business of redemption. So He's choosing to give you this sense of understanding for you to get these messages from the Most High. Your discernment is becoming more obvious that you can't even ignore it, because this is a part of you healing and you unlearning patterns that have kept you burdened and bound. And so now, as you're reclaiming your worth, not by the approval of others, but by the truth of who God says you are. It's not an easy process, but it's necessary. And on the other side of this, there's peace, there's clarity, there is you being the better version of yourself that no longer allows anything that seems um, uncomfortable to be disguised as love for you. Because when you get into that place that you understand that God is choosing the best for you. Hold on just a moment. You're reclaiming your true worth. Also knowing that your approval is not contingent on anybody's thoughts or ideas about you. Okay? It's just a part of this process that you're going to go through within this life. And although it may not seem easy, it may not feel comfortable at times, but this is all necessary. It is all a part of the experience of being in this earth and also being a witness to the testament of the changes that the Most High can have within you. Now you're choosing, instead of ignoring when you're uncomfortable, ignoring red flags, but you're choosing to really trust your intuition, trust the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, and also choosing that what God has for you is only for you and the best is yet to come. So hold on and experience the blessings of this new version of yourself. It can feel unfamiliar, all right? Because oftentimes, especially if you're someone that you kind of, you kind of like to be a chill, person. You don't like to make too many waves. You don't like to have confrontation. But when it comes to a point where the Most High is giving you major signs, like, pay attention. Because sometimes when Holy Spirit is whispering and giving you direction, telling you certain things and you ignore it, there's always, unfortunately, going to be destruction when you don't take heed to a warning. Okay? So the Holy Spirit will give you these quiet messages like, don't do this or say this or stay away from this. And you keep ignoring it and then boom, something major happens. So now that you've been able to come to this new space in your life of truly seeing what it is that you need to do, how you need to move accordingly, take it as a blessing in disguise. You're no longer in a conditioned mindset of when you assert your position, when you assert your boundaries, that somehow you're the bad guy. Let them think what they think, but this is your time. You're thriving, not just surviving.